sports. Traveling the country for the biggest stories in collegiate sports. Bringing you the news that will impact every college athlete in America. From the Ivy League to the SWAC, Big Sky to the Big Ten, Notre Dame to Grambling U, Miami or Maine. No university is too big, no college too small. We tilt it all.
That was my father. My initials are MAC. My oldest daughter, Maya, the middle girl, Mickey, who I did my name, my wife name. When she went to Hampton, she told people my dad's name is Mike. I am Mickey. All the people call me Michael are bill collectors and my stepmother. I don't follow her. Forever. Harry is like my godfather. Harry said, y'all old enough to be your godfather. This made my day for Harry to come. Y'all just don't know. Next time, pretty white.
She sent her message.
Oh, well, I'll hear that later. Significance of your brand, which is your name. And a lot of times you spend a lot of time doing stuff for everybody else but yourself. And sometimes when you go out there and you do things, people don't always want to be there to support you. But you have to be around positive people that support what you do. Sometimes you can tell those positive people by their spirit. God usually look out for you. Most of the mistakes you make because you didn't listen to what he told you. I remember we had that team in the city league where we used to whip people to death. And Ken ain't play. Ken used to throw elbows where people play. Hurdle, kids just play. Ken just play, but that was I wasn't inside doing that. I was outside shooting a jump shot. Ken was down there. He was hurt up here.
Way outside, as I remember.
Hey Ken, tell it right. Way outside. One step across half court.
Way back when we had WA&M radio and Disc Jockey of the Year and all that kind of stuff, he used to wear the Georgia Tech stuff. He put that GT on, and they said the GT car. He walked that head on the side. You know, it had GT there, and he got it. I don't think he really knew what his real name was. And just GT. I know we didn't know what it was. Okay, but this is the crew. This is the crew.
It's been 1 year, 3, 2, 1.
And it's been 1 year since INSiiGHTS. Since what you saw was the launch party, then we kicked it off INSiiGHTS. Gerald, you remember that?
Oh yeah. I mean, how could you forget that? Proud moment of, you know, for you in terms of what you wanted to do with the show. And, you know, a proud moment for me to be a part of it.
Well, I wondered when you were going to add that part of it, because when I had the concept of doing this, you were the first person I bounced this off of. So I appreciate your humility and modesty in it, but your fingerprints are all over.
Well, I mean, you know me, I'm low-key behind the scenes, want to be behind the scenes all the time.
Low-key. When have you ever known a disc jockey to be low-key? I just, not that you were a disc jockey over the years.
Wait. Let's get it right. I was a program director, happened to be a disc jockey.
Now see, for the novice like me, I don't know what the hell that means. I don't know what he's talking about right there. But this is where it started from. This is where our launch party started, INSiiGHTS, and now we're shooting for television, and we never thought that it would grow this way to what it's been.
Yeah, because you remember what you wanted to do?
But I know you're going to tell me.
Yeah. You were in Clayton Smith, wanted to, man, let's get a recorder. Let's record it, let's put it out there on the internet. Remember that?
No, I don't remember that. Okay. But I remember you trying to slow me down.
Well, I said to slow you down. You're ready to roll with it right away.
But you said it all the time. You said it all the time. You said we got to slow it down, we got to put some things in place. And as we talked, you know, we had the crew with me, you, there's a GT. with me, you, Big Al, the professor, and we had Clayton Smith with us, and we started and we were meeting for a month trying to get topics together on what we wanted to do and how we wanted to go. And everybody had a specific area with marketing, and then we had someone doing research.
Right.
Miss B was in the background taking pictures and stuff and getting a little camera.
Oh, those pictures.
Yeah, those pictures, and we got some video from the early promotion days that we did. That one of your favorite ones. So we'll get a chance to talk about that. But that's what this show is about. We're taking a look over the life of INSiiGHTS over the past year, and so many people had breathed life into us, supported us, been there to help us as we evolved and grown and tried to get to this point that we're at today. So many people were so instrumental in it. And we're going to come back and we're going to give you some more insight to the beginning of INSiiGHTS.
Talk that talk.
Talk that talk.
Okay. That was right.
And this is INSiiGHTS, and we're back. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, just follow us. But when we went out and met and talked to a lot of people, you always kept saying, GT, that the strength of the show a lot was the interview.
And I still believe that. I thought that because of your relationship and how you could communicate with folks, that you had a way of bringing them in and making them feel comfortable that you would get insights into whatever their program was, whatever they were trying to promote, because that's what you did as a basketball coach. You know, nowadays going back from when you were coaching women's basketball, you built that program because of the way you communicate and get your message out to people.
But you helped me get that message out on WANM 1070 on the radio dial.
And you know, we had fun doing it. You know, you were doing it by yourself, and then I came in and still let you do it, but just adding an interview component to it to make it better. And I think that
You remember when we had the radio show, and we had Mrs. Clayton's voice on the radio show?
Yeah, I do remember.
You remember that?
Yeah. I don't think she want to remember that.
She remember calling the radio station, wanted to hear Wild Wild West.
And what do I always say?
Okay, don't wake it up.
Don't wake it up.
Don't wake it up.
Because you know, you won't hear the end.
But one of the things that we did in experiment, one of the people that were very, very integral or very important for us was John Grant, director of 100 Black Men in Atlanta Classic. He interviewed with us, had a lot of people who responded to his show. We were able to go to the Atlanta Classic. I think the first time we went somewhere, we actually had press credentials. And what we found, we never really wanted to cover the scores and things like that in an event, but what we did was we were able to talk to people behind the scenes, find out what was going on with them, and things like that. And so, and we have a clip from the Atlanta Classic, some of the sights and sounds of the Atlanta Classic, and on it you were able to see that there was so much going on where we interviewed people, talked to people, captured some of the energy from that show. And so, I mean, we had a lot of things we were able to do, walk around, talk to people, get comments from them, from the A&T people. We had one cheerleader, she grabbed the microphone from me.
Yeah, she was special.
Oh yeah, she was real special.
She almost thought it was her show at that point in time.
She did. Then we have, they like to do that thing from A&T about Aggie cried or something.
Yeah, Clayton know about that. Aggie cried.
And they would get all excited, you know, and it was just the aura of the game around it. That's part of what we tried to do.
You know, talking back and forth. They had a great relationship between South Carolina State and North Carolina A&T. Despite the rivalry, like most HBCUs, there's such a great family-oriented group that it's all about like a family reunion in a sense.
I agree with you. As proud as the A&M people are of their band, the equipment of their band, that's how proud South Carolina State A&T is of their band. And you hear that in them. I mean, it's either our way or get out of the way, or they had some of those folks that really tickled me when they said it, but it was so much pride in it.
Yeah, it was. And I was trying to remember that quote. But, you know, and I guess that's what you have. And then, of course, you know, you had a nice little chat with a former football coach and how protective they were of him.
The legendary Coach Jeffries. And when I saw him, I had met him before, and I walked over to speak to him. I mean, but you had to wait in line, because he's royalty in South Carolina State. And by the time I got to it, it was almost like a crowd. Thanks for reminding me of people that kind of gathered around and wanted to know, who was I? And who was he over there talking down to Coach Jeffries? And once Coach Jeffries recognized me and hugged me and shook my hand, it was like, oh, he's all right, he can talk to me. But before then, you're right, they didn't play that. And so you talking that legend.
And again, you talked about John Grant being, such a big supporter of the program. You had him on twice. And that was to talk about, and I'm sure we'll probably talk about it a little bit later, but what's going on now with the Power 5 conference, how that's affecting, why it's important to support programs like the Atlanta Classic.
And you're exactly right. And what John was able to do that was so positive for us was he understood social media and pushed our shows with the Atlanta Classic. He posted us on his Facebook page. He posted us on his website. And we would get so many people watching and listen to it because the Atlanta Classic. John Grant, we're indebted to you and we appreciate it. INSiiGHTS is going to take a break. We're going to be right back. And I'm going to see if they make sure they hold on to some of those wings, because these wings and coatings, they all about that. But I got one of my INSiiGHTS girls right there, Tamia Henson. She got all the wings, so I'm trying to make sure that she hold on to some of them for me. It's INSiiGHTS. We'll be right back.
702. 5, 4, 3, 2.
And it's INSiiGHTS, and we're back. What we're going to do is take you all the way back from the early days of INSiiGHTS and how we kind of progressed and the things that we went through. GT, want to go through that? Tell us a little bit about it, Mr. Producer.
Yeah, what we did, we started out in a Spreaker app, and because of that Spreaker app, we were able to get ourselves on iTunes. We were on iTunes within about 2 weeks. And eventually we were able to, because we produced enough quality shows, we were able to launch ourselves on iHeartRadio, which is significant.
Don't say it like that and look at me. Just because I didn't know the significance of it when it happened, and you look at me waiting for a response. You're right, I didn't know what the hell I did. Everybody else was all jumping up and down. I'm like, what's the big deal about being on? And y'all were just doing somersaults. So yeah, that's why you put your eyes on me.
Exactly, because this was your baby. Yeah. And we wanted to take it to her.
As she started walking, I didn't know to look at me.
But that was just able to take it to another level, so that people can access it easily. As opposed to saying Spreaker, everybody said, well, what the hell is Spreaker? Yeah. Are you just pronouncing it? It's not speaker, it's Spreaker. Right. But to be on iHeart was significant, because now you're talking about you're on the same level as the Tom Warner. You're on the same level as a lot of the ESPN talk shows. So you have that platform now that you can get your message out, your show out to a mass amount of people.
But, and thank you, you're the one who did that. I need you to explain a little bit how you try to be slick as we did these recordings. And when we would mess up and I'd start cussing on it, and you leave it in there telling me that's the funniest part in there. You would leave it on there.
But did I lie about it?
I don't know, because it's funny to me.
Well, I mean, when we look at the numbers, some of those numbers were outstanding. And it also depended on the guest. But because of the timing or the way you said certain things, and we're coaches, so we know how you're going to use some colorful language every now and then.
Yeah, like the show that we have on about when we were doing PED. And it says, one line said, the ancient Greek athletes also drank wine potions, used hallucinogenics, and ate animal hearts or testicles. They ate the nuts. Testicles in search of potency. Yeah, like you really were trying to stretch a little bit to be a little better athlete then.
Do you think it helped?
I wouldn't know. I wasn't there. We got to find out what's going on. Animal hearts or testicles. I could say, John III, you need a few nuts here to help you in this race. I'm like, wow.
Just another reason why Christ came back.
Jesus Christ.
Right behind that.
Right behind that. Right behind that. So you had your hands for doing editing.
Oh yeah, I spent many hours trying to come up with a clean show. But it was fun.
It was fun.
It was fun.
Then we had Roman Banks, head coach from Southern University, and I interviewed him. And I called you, I said, Gerald, you need to listen to this interview. Because this guy is so honest in his interview with what the problems are at Southern University. I said, he might not really want a job. Because, he just put it out out there, and I was like, Gerald, do we need to put what he said on there?
Yeah.
And that's just what you said.
Or as in my other favorite interview, yeah. That's my guy right there.
That's your guy right there.
Oh, the Southern Band Director.
Southern Band Director was one of the funniest interviews of all time.
Absolutely.
He started telling the stories about Southern's band and how they would get locked in the stadium and couldn't get out, how they turned the water sprinklers on them and they couldn't leave. And Southern band played, Jackson State's band played. He said they played music so long and embarrassed Jackson State so bad that Jackson State sent back to the music hall to get some more music to come back to finish the show.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah. he was a funny guy. And then we also had Lynn Thompson from Bethune-Cookman, who actually was instrumental to us in terms of supporting us, cutting promos, introducing us to people. And he set up an interview we had with Dr. Barry McLeod, Bethune's grandson,
who
lives in Quincy, and talked about the relationship between Florida A&M and Bethune-Cookman and how codependent they are on each other and the things that have happened historically that they've done to help each other survive. And he said it wasn't just about the athletic community. He said they're tied as the educational institutions in the state, and it was really, really important to them.
Absolutely, and you know that again, that's one of those historical interviews that you take and you say it goes beyond sports. It's all about insight into two institutions, two major institutions in this country that had a significant impact, not only in the state of Florida, but across the globe.
And then from Bethune-Cookman, we also had Alvin Wyatt and the legendary flamboyant football coach from Bethune-Cookman. And he told a story about how he had caught Florida A&M license plate on the highway because they had passed him and he just wasn't going to let anybody from FAMU beat him doing anything. And he had to catch him, run him down, and let him see his license plate in the back of who he was, and then left him in the dust.
Well, I think the thing that I take out of that interview from Alvin was his relationship with you. And the two of you all had such a unique relationship in terms of coaching against one another, but so much admiration and respect on both ends. But he was funny because, the prom,
you have to go back and listen to that show with Coach Wyatt when he talked about the things that he did when he was a women's coach and dressing like he did and the interaction between the fans back and forth. We really had some real good shows and things that we think have captured people's attention. But the show that drew the most attention was a show that we got from one of my former students, and she worked in the office, in the booster office with Yolanda Allen. Yolanda told me about her uncle, who was a highly successful football coach in Miami, and she thought that he would be a good candidate. And I really didn't know who he was, so I put him in Google and pulled up the information. He's only one of the top 10 high school football coaches of all time. Has put more players in the NFL than any other high school in the country. And his show, we did 2 shows. Each one of his shows got over 1,000 hits.
right?
I mean, we had Santana Moss on there. We found out that Rick Ross was one of his former players. Then later we found out that Flo Rida was one of his players. Now mind you, I didn't know who Rick Ross and Flo Rida was either. That's just like, I didn't know who they were. So my students again had to tell me who they were. And he had so many people play for him that went on to be lawyers and doctors. And it was such an enlightening and well-received show. They had it on the blog in Miami. It was posted on some NFL sites. It was a historic site. So we're very appreciative of the people who have interviewed with us, the work that has gone on behind the scenes to put the show together with the crew. And Jeff Walker, now part of the crew. If we ever get him on time, we really roll with it. But we just appreciate the opportunity. And a special thanks to our sponsors, Cody's Roadhouse Bar and Grill, Capitol Circle Northeast, and Casinos by Vince in the Tallahassee Mall. They fit them large, they fit them tall, they fit them all. And this INSiiGHTS, and we're going to close it out, but we're going to let Dr. Humphries take us out with the Rattler Charge. And with us, you see in the background, you see the man who talked about him eating the nuts. That made me play.
But when I was president, I wanted to come up with something that would excite us and get in the spirit of the game and do things that would create an image of Rattlers. And so I penned the following thing: when the dark clouds gather on the horizon, when thunder and lightning pierce the skies, when fate is but a glint in the eye of a fallen rattler, and hope a lost friend, when the sinew of the chest grows weary, and the muscles in the legs grow tired from those hard charging linebackers of the Rattlers, you must always remember the Rattlers will strike and strike and strike again.
Stay with us for next week's show. Thank you, Dr. Humphries, for taking us home.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Stay up to date with the latest from INSiiGHTS. Visit our website at INSiiGHTS.com. 2 I's in the middle, INSiiGHTS.com.